Today I'm in Hamilton, Georgia, and we are at the historic Hamilton City Cemetery at the old section. We're here to look at some specific graves, but right now I thought we'd just kind of explore around some of these neat old grave markers up here. Now, I live not very far away from here, and I'm ashamed to say, never really wandered around this historic cemetery, so I'm excited to do that today. So let's go and see what we can find. This is the Hudson plot right here, and it's kind of neat. It has this Hudson plate on the gate there, so that's cool. So this is in memory of William I. Hudson, born April the 6th, 1822, died June 12th, 1893. There's a big epitaph on it, but that's a beautiful old grave marker right there. And it's actually for multiple people. It's on this side it says, in memory of Francis. I can't read that, I have to get my flashlight, but it was his wife. So we're just kind of doing a whirlwind walk around the cemetery today. And so I want to walk over to the other side before we get into the reason that we're here. But this is just a really, really pretty section right here. I'm interested to get a closer look at this huge old box tomb. I think that's what it is back there, that's built out of field stone. And then there's some stuff over here that's kind of neat that we'll take a look at. It's really cool up here. It's really hot in Georgia right now. We're under a heat advisory, but all this little bit of shade is really nice. Plus clouds, the storm's coming in, so it's clouded over. Makes it more pleasant to walk around than it has been recently. There is, I think this may be one that we're actually looking for, so we will circle back to that one. Oh, look at that one. There's a statue on top of that one. That'll be, and then look at this one. I'm gonna just be like, look at that, look at that, look at that. This is a fieldstone box tomb right here with a piece of marble at both ends, but I don't see no engraving on it. So it's just a rock wall around a grave for Julia A.E., wife of Dr. O. Stovall, who died October 9th, 1858, not dead, but sleepeth. And at the top it says the tomb of, which is kind of neat. I was trying to determine if this is original or if this is a repair. You see the lines in it that make it look like blocks. I guess that's going to be a repair because that mortar or that concrete doesn't match with the mortar. See, this is old mortar right here, and that dates to like 1850s or somewhere around there. That's that real soft stuff. So maybe it was originally covered in that mortar, and that concrete that we see on the other side is just a newer repair. But I wonder if it was made to look like blocks all the way around. I find it interesting that it says the tomb of, I think it was always just a wall. I wonder if it ever had like a roof or something on it. Sometimes, it's very rarely that I see them, but I've seen a tomb that had a true tomb, not a false crypt, that had a domed top that wound up caving in. But that's may not be the case with that one. Could just be a wall. I don't know. It's my first time here. It's old boxwoods. That's the old kind of boxwood. Boxwoods you get nowadays grow really fast. This is old, slow growing type. Matilda Kay, wife of James M. Mobley, daughter of Colonel Benjamin and Ann M. Henry. I heard my name called. This is a neat obelisk here. It says my wife, has the drapery on the top. And then James M. Mobley's grave is pretty neat because it has a Masonic symbol on top. Another thing that you can see in this plot is the way this marble sometimes dips in the middle, how it's kind of soft sometimes and collects water in where it's sank in, which can be very damaging to this marble, but it's just interesting to see how the marble actually warps or whatever, because you don't think of rock being soft enough to warp.
These crosses are cool.
Yeah, they were.
Also, this is a Copeland grave, and she's cool.
She's very cool.
Erastus Hood, this is a great name. And also, there's the welcome part. Do you want to say something about them for the video, since we talked about it? And then we don't know much about them, but we can just show them.
I'm going to do this as a separate video.
Oh, okay.
So
well, then I was going to move on. Then we would just move on.
Well, we'll mention
right
it.
Here.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because there's also one that Mrs. Linda's looking for, an Ely, and I wanted to look at this lady right here.
She's cool.
She's pretty cool.
She's very ornate, but she's a good Halloween one.
I think there's one over there, and we have talked about Reuben Rab Mobley before on a previous video, and I can't remember what he is, but this is his son.
You did find him? You found him over there?
Yeah, I knew because the obelisk that's on top of it is on the ground.
Oh, you've been here before?
Her,
Oh, okay, yeah.
maybe 20 years.
Oh.
I don't know enough.
Was it on the ground then? Oh, well, that'll be a good story to tell.
I don't know enough.
Robert can fix it in a different video. Right, Robert? It's been on the ground for 20 years. You can fix it in a different video.
Mm-hmm. Which one are we going to?
Right now, we're going to do the welcome part. But we don't know anything about him.
Well, I mean,
I know
we
reality
know
TV
more
show
than
right now.
who we're talking about. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what we're here for, so you know how they're connected to you.
Okay, well, you tell us how you want to, where you want us to stand.
I don't know I don't know where we even are going, so,
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this much. Benny P. Wait,
I
Benny.
don't know enough about these to make a comment.
You can just stand next to me while I make a comment.
just.
Where do you want us
stand there and
to
look.
stand? Benny Parks. Okay, so so confirmed. Maddie.
It's like you just stand there and look like you know what you're talking about, and that
Oh, yeah.
just nod along.
Got it.
I knew all of that.
We can come up
already.
with something. Then you can throw on some photos. We got it. Where do you want us? How do you want this to be set up? Cameras
Definitely
there.
keep these-
We're
this
here
in the
behind
video.
him, or what?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping this entirely. This is just going to be like a B-roll, a deleted
Behind the scenes.
behind the
Look at
scenes
us.
deleted
I'd have to go
scenes
get
video.
my
Yeah.
Notes.
Unless you think you have stories. I don't have
No, not
stories,
really.
necessarily, but I have their dates.
All I know is they look like they went. Sometimes they were in Troup County, which is close by.
Yes, and
But
that's where the
mostly they were
Rosamonds ended up.
in here.
Yeah. All right.
So.
Are we just
That's
talking?
what you do. You just nod along.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you do
Just
that.
nodding.
You're done
You're just
here.
nodding along. Mhm.
All right. Well,
No, seriously. So they're out here to visit ancestors.
yes. So we were just in Chambers County, Valley, Alabama, looking at the Hopewell Church Cemetery and church and cemetery, and looking at the graves, the Rogers graves that are out there with Ron Williams, who had written he's written like 2 or 3 books, and he knows a lot about that area's history and has really brought that community to life. And so we knew we had our great grandmother was a Rogers, and she married McDaniels. And Stories. I mean, she didn't marry the Stories, but the Stories, the Rogers, the McDaniels were all interconnected. And
Interwoven. Like
Yes.
a quilt, like a quilt.
yes, mill workers, and so we were out there documenting that and looking at those graves. And it was George Washington Rogers, and he married Georgia and Duke Rogers. And so her parents, now we're back in Hamilton in Harris County looking at her parents' graves, which were her father was Welcome Parks, and we think he went by Parks,
Park, yeah.
Duke, and then This says Ollie, but the paperwork I've seen says Molly, sometimes says Polly. I think her first name was Mary. So Polly, Molly, Ollie, and Duke. And then the other graves in this section all have the name Rosamund, and they are babies. They're children. At least this one, Maddie was, I think, 14.
Yes. So we think grandchildren of Parks and Molly.
And Ollie, yeah, Molly. Yes, and so they did have a daughter, Emma Rogers married a Rosamond. And so she is buried, Emma, the mother, is buried out in Troup County in LaGrange. So at the, I can't remember, what did I say? Can't remember, but she did make it out there. So probably what happened is when they were here, the children passed away and were buried with her parents. She buried her children with her parents, and then eventually, sometime after, 1916, they must have relocated out in Troup County. But so Welcome Parks Duke, he was born in 1815, and he died around, I think I found his will, so he died in 1887.
Yes.
And then Ollie, her dates were 1817 and she died in 1888. So they died pretty close together, about the same age.
And these are concrete markers. When did they die?
Let's see, 1887 and then 1899.
So I think these were placed here later.
I think so too,
markers?
because the stamping is definitely more of it's even like later than the 1920s. That
Yeah,
stamping,
I would think 1930s
Yeah.
at the
I was
oldest.
thinking these look newer
Yeah.
than the time period when they passed away.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
These must
It's
have all
interest-
been unmarked for a long time.
Well, it's interesting. It must have been somebody who knew details of these children. So I wonder, it could have been done as early as 1916 if that was the last one, but
That's
because
true.
you have birth and death dates for them, but these are just,
And that makes sense too, that maybe like if this was somehow related to the children.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so too.
And they knew, especially if they knew that mom had buried the children out with grandma and grandpa.
Now I don't have my notes, so I can't remember their names, but Molly and Parks had 3 daughters and 1 son. The oldest was a son. So one of the Duke.
Noah was the son, I think.
Yes. One of the girls, I forgot her name, but she also married a Duke of another Duke family. So her name was whatever. I'll say Martha Duke.
I think her name was Mary Jane
That's right, Mary Jane Duke.
Duke.
That happens once in a while.
That makes me think of Luke Duke
So
from.
did one of the girls marry to Evans?
Oh,
Let's see here. Emma Duke married to Rosamond. Mary Jane married to Duke. Georgia Ann, Ma, Eugenia. Oh, I know. No, Fanny, Ma's mother, Georgia Ann. She married George Washington Rogers. There is an Evans connection, but it must be grandchildren.
I have forgotten.
I have forgotten too.
Unusual.
she got these gates chained down so no one can steal them.
Yeah, they're kind of. I'm glad because I think this would have been their son. Very, very famous minister here in Alex Copeland.
Okay.
He's the one that lived in it. The Copelands lived in that beautiful old mansion that has been everything. But Brother Alex was a dear friend of my grandmother and grandfather's.
Oh, gotcha.
And I have a letter that he wrote my mother and daddy when my infant brother passed away. And so he married Mother and Daddy. Mother and Daddy got married in Hamilton in the old Copeland mansion. And so he was a family friend, a dear family friend. He died in 1981. But he was a minister. He did so many funerals, but he also played the organ and the piano beautifully. He was a very talented man. He never married. And,
No matter what it
lived
is.
in that house until
I'm like,
the
oh,
house
I
got,
know,
he
do I
couldn't
think
live there anymore. It was falling in. So
like just that, and then
I thought it was so great.
I do too. I think they can do that for all.
she's still standing. It's a good thing. I guarantee you that's Suzanne Newberry's handiwork.
I was thinking that too. And you said that you came here with your dad?
My dad, about 20 years ago, brought him, and we were looking for Osborne Ely, my third great grandfather. But this is James D. Ely, who was my great great grandfather Marcus's brother, so my fourth great uncle. And he was in the he was in the Russell Guards with Marcus. He lost his leg in the Battle of Atlanta. He was a teacher, and after the war he taught around Columbus, and eventually he became Harris County tax collector. But he married late in life, so he was a bachelor until later in life. And also buried here is his sister, my fourth great aunt, Sarah Sally Ely, who married James Lynch, who was of the Lynch family that is in Columbus, the Lynch family in Columbus. Though his parents are actually buried in the old Bronner house on River Road. There's there's two graves there, and it's his parents, George and his wife, Lynch, buried there. But this is James, and this was Sarah or Sally, and then her husband, James. His name is James too, James Lynch.
James Ely, Mrs. J.H. Lynch, it says on that stone. It's got her name up there, and then J.H. Lynch. And the gate has Lynch on a piece of top right.
And I suppose that this obelisk was on top of that?
Yeah, it looks like it was up there. Yeah. And it's, someone moved it after it fell, but...
It's been there at least 20 years. I know that now. That's the only reason I knew where this, when I started looking, I thought, if I can find that fallen obelisk, if it hadn't been moved, I knew exactly where their graves were.
When you said the fallen obelisk earlier, I saw a fallen obelisk up there, and I said, well, that's the grave, that's the other one we were looking for, so we'll circle back. So I was wrong in that.